Welcome to another video, guys. Today's video is about making and accepting apologies in English. So I'm going to give you some examples of words and phrases that you can use to apologize. But before we get started, let me tell you who I am. My name's Chris Huntley, or you can call me Chris Americos. And I'm here because I love to teach English. It's just something that I really love doing, so I try to do it as much as possible. And that's why I'm here. So let's get started with 13 ways to make apologies. That's right, there's more than 13, but I'm going to talk about 13 of them today. The first one is sorry. Now, sorry can be very confusing because there are a lot of different meanings of sorry. Usually when someone says sorry and they're trying to apologize, this is talking about regret. They regret that they did something, and now they are apologizing for it. But sorry could have other meanings as well. For example, if we didn't hear someone well, we might ask them to repeat. We might say, "Sorry? What was that?" Or maybe even just, "Sorry?" And the person will understand that we want them to repeat what they said. So really, this is just short for, "Sorry, I didn't hear you. Could you repeat that?" Another meaning of sorry is when we use it in the phrase to be sorry for someone or to feel sorry for someone. In this case, it means that we sympathize with this person, or we understand why they feel bad and we feel bad for them too. And yet another meaning of the word sorry is bad quality or poor. For example, that was a sorry film, meaning that this film was not good or not of good quality. And of course, we can say sorry to apologize. Moving forward, we can also say excuse me. Now, usually when I explain this to students, I say that excuse me is about getting someone's attention. But sometimes excuse me is also used to apologize. For example, if you forgot something in a room and you go in the room and there's a meeting happening. You open the door, you look at everyone and you say, "Excuse me, I forgot something." Now, in this situation, you could also say, "Sorry, I forgot something." And that shows that excuse me and sorry can both be used to apologize. Another phrase we often use when we want to apologize is forgive me. This one is more formal compared to sorry and excuse me. You probably won't hear young people say this very often, if ever, but you will probably hear this in films. Another apologetic phrase is I shouldn't have. For example, I shouldn't have come home late. Yeah, this isn't really an apology, but it's admitting that you did something wrong. So it's close enough. And this is the first of our phrases that uses I. The next one is I'm ashamed. So again, we're telling the person how we feel and that we feel bad about what happened or about what we did. For example, I'm ashamed that I didn't come home earlier. This is almost an apology, right? The next phrase is, I regret to inform you. And this is very formal. We use this phrase in formal writing, for example, a letter. And we can see this very often when we read an email or a letter after we applied for a job and they want us to know that we didn't get the job. They will say, I regret to inform you that we will not be moving forward with your job application. So let's go to the next phrase, which is, I apologize. And I think this one makes sense. The best example is, I apologize for being late. Now, a good question to ask here is, what's the difference between I'm sorry and I apologize? Well, on one hand, we could say that I'm sorry tells someone how I feel. And I apologize is something that I do. So this is a very important core difference. But on the other hand, let's make it a little simpler and say that apologize is more formal and sorry is less formal. It would sound pretty strange if you told your friends, I apologize. Continuing with our I phrases, we have I owe you an apology. Usually we use this phrase when at first we thought that we were right or we thought that we did nothing wrong, and only later we understood that we were wrong. So we go back to the person who we wronged and we say, listen, I owe you an apology. And this basically means, I was wrong. Another phrase is, my apologies. For example, my apologies for being late. This phrase, again, is a little more formal than a lot of other phrases. So let's compare it with the next phrase, which is very informal. My bad. This is a very informal phrase, almost like slang, and it means that I understand that I was wrong. My bad. We usually use this type of phrase for some small mistake. For example, turn the TV to channel 9. No, not channel 10, channel 9. Oh, I thought you said channel 10. My bad. And another similar phrase is my fault. When we came home, the door was unlocked. My fault, I forgot to lock it. These phrases are much shorter and more informal. And another phrase that fits into this category is my mistake. So we have three phrases that are practically the same: my bad, my fault, and my mistake. Next, let's look at the phrase that was wrong of me. So again, this is a phrase that tells the person, I understand that I was not right. It's not exactly an apology, but people will understand it in the same way. But what do you say when a person apologizes to you? Do you just smile and look at them? No, of course not. That would be awkward. Instead, we need to know the phrases to say back to them. So, let's look at 13 ways to accept apologies. First, we can say, that's okay, which means there's no problem, so you don't need to apologize. Another similar phrase is, that's all right. Now, maybe somebody made a mistake, and maybe it's not all right. A lot of people still, in this situation, will say, that's all right, because they don't want to listen to a person apologize. So when they say, that's all right, it really means, stop apologizing. But anyways, we understand that it's a nice, polite thing to say after someone apologizes to you. Now, if somebody is telling you that they're really, really sorry, you can look at them and say, it's fine, which is almost the same thing as, that's all right. But we have a lot of other phrases that talk about it as well. For example, it doesn't matter. Oh, I'm really sorry that I couldn't come to your party last night. It doesn't matter, everything is okay. Another one is, it's done. Now, when you use this phrase, some people will probably think that you are still angry. And it might not be clear that you accept their apology. But that's okay, because usually when we accept someone's apology, we use more than one of these phrases. So for example, it's fine, it's done, it's okay. Another thing we could say is, don't worry about it, which means this is not a big enough problem to make you worry. I use this one a lot. When someone says, oh, sorry I couldn't come to your party, I say, don't worry about it. Come to the next one. And another one of my personal favorites is, forget about it. So this one really means that there is no problem at all. Whatever problem you thought we had, you should forget about it. And I've used the next one as an example when explaining the other phrases, but you can just say, no problem. For example, I don't think I can help you with your homework tonight, sorry. No problem, I can do it myself. Another thing we might say to someone is, no need to apologize. I'm really sorry I can't help you with your homework. No need to apologize, I know you're busy. And another phrase that's sometimes used is an idiom or an idiomatic phrase. And this is, no harm, no foul. And this means if nobody was hurt, nothing was wrong. So you might say it after someone apologizes to you, like, I'm really sorry I didn't lock the door. Well, nobody got in the house, so no harm, no foul. Our next phrase is very logical, so I don't think we need to spend a lot of time explaining it. We can just tell someone, I understand. And again, we usually say more than one of these phrases after someone apologizes to us. So maybe I would say, I understand. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We could also say, I forgive you. Now, this one is much stronger because it's very clear that you accept their apology. And we also have a phrase, forgive and forget. So, a lot of people believe that if you forgive them, that you should forget about it. And our last phrase is, I've already forgotten. So if somebody says, sorry I couldn't help you yesterday, you say, don't worry, I've already forgotten about it. And that's it, guys. So that was 13 ways to make an apology and 13 ways to accept an apology. I hope you found it very useful. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact me. My email is info.chrisamericos@gmail.com. And if you haven't done so already, you need to subscribe to this YouTube channel because I release videos on this channel every single day. So don't miss out. And you know where else I release videos every single day? On my Telegram channel. And that's the first link that you see on the screen right now. So that's t.me/getmotivatedwithchris. You can also find me on VK, Instagram, or Facebook. So thanks again for joining me for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.